Hi VMS1s, my name is Zach Jones. I'm a VMS2 right now, and today we're going to talk a little bit about blood glucose management in diabetes. So first, a little bit about me. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was 18 years old, so a little bit later than what you typically hear, but I had all the symptoms. I was drinking tons of water. I had to go to the bathroom a lot. For about 2 months, over 2 months, I lost about 20 pounds. And as well as I had a viral illness like 2 months preceding that lasted for basically a whole month. So pretty much everything was there. I ended up in the hospital, thankfully not with DKA, but my blood sugars the first time were off the meter. And that's when I started having to go down the journey of being a type 1. So there's a lot involved, but I want to give you guys a good idea of where our sugars typically run. My endo wants my sugars to be between about 70 and 180, and that's a lot larger range than probably what you're used to with a normal person. Normal people run about 70 to 100. You get the diagnosis with a fasting of above 125. But I will say that that 70 to 180 range isn't exactly easy, especially for type 1s. Our glucose can jump massively to 200, 300, 400. With something as simple as being off our pumps for over an hour, or maybe our pumps got kinked and we're not getting insulin, as well as maybe I had a sugary snack that I didn't bolus correctly for. It can jump really high. And on the converse of that, we also can have a lot of lows because we are giving ourselves insulin on a daily basis. Right now I have an insulin pump. I originally started on injections, but by getting a basal dose of insulin, it makes sure that my blood glucoses are in range, but it also means that if I don't eat anything or I exercise more than normal, my blood sugar can drop. So those are the two kind of extremes where my blood sugar can go. First, I want to walk you through essentially two things that are most important for blood glucose management. The first being finger stick testing, and the second being CGMs, which are continuous glucose monitors. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about are blood glucose monitors or meters and how they are used to test your blood glucose. Now, if you were in class, you would actually get, each of you would get one of these, kind of see what it's like living in the life of a diabetic. When I was first diagnosed, I was sticking my finger about 8 to 10 times a day, before and after every meal, in the morning and at night. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that much anymore because of the CGM that I have, but we'll talk more about that later. So I would have this kit. I would take it with me everywhere, try not to lose it. I do have a couple because maybe I've lost a couple, but here is the glucose meter. You'll see that it's actually from Walgreens because I think I bought this one because my CGM failed when I was on vacation. Here is the Lancet device. You'll see this one is a reusable. Here are the testing strips, as well as one right here, and then also a Lancet. You might notice that these Lancets, again, they're reusable. The hospital ones, anecdotally, they do hurt more. So if a patient has their Lancet from home, I think I would definitely recommend them using that. However, they still need to use the hospital testing strips and meters just because they record to Epic. And so I just loaded my Lancet into my reusable Lancet pen. In addition, I have an alcohol swab here. So ideally, you should be swabbing your finger 4 every time. I will say I don't know many diabetics who do. I typically didn't. It's hard to keep more alcohol swabs, but that's ideally, you want to keep it hygienic. You'll do 1 lance, and you'll see there's a drop of blood there. You're actually supposed to wipe the first one off, and I'll load the testing strip now as it goes in. So you wipe the first drop off, you squeeze a little bit, and then just the tip of the testing strip can touch the blood, and it's a capillary-like action, and then it'll read the sugar. So it's reading the sugar now, and I'm a little low. I'm 59 right now. I don't know if it's backwards on your screen, but I'm actually happy with that because I just ate lunch a little while ago, so it should stay up. And so those are the blood glucose meters. Okay, so to wrap this up, we're going to be talking about CGMs, or continuous glucose monitors. One of my favorite topics, just because the technology has progressed so much in the last 5 years, it's really benefited me. Now, you'll probably remember that I was testing 7 to 8 times a day with finger sticks. But they don't hurt, but it's kind of inconvenient to have to carry around this pack, and you can imagine on the wards, you don't want any extra things in your pockets, which are already overladen. But a CGM essentially is an implantable device. There's a wire that is injected into the subcutaneous skin, and it communicates with an external receiver or your phone, and it sends blood glucose measurements every 5 minutes, and then you can actually trend them and plot them either on the receiver or the phone. So there's several brands. I have a Dexcom, but the brands aren't really important because I'm sure they'll change by the time you guys are in the next several years. But there's also Freestyle Libre. There is Guardian from Medtronic. There is Eversense, which is a new one. Now, these are approved for type 1, but they're actually starting to get approved for type 2, which is really exciting because, like I said, it has changed my life. So every 7 to 10 days, I take this little applicator. There's adhesive on the bottom. There's a button here. It's spring-loaded, and it implants the sensor, which I can actually show you right now. So it's not very big, and it sticks out about 2 centimeters from the skin. So very nice. It doesn't get in the way of sports or anything like that. Sometimes it comes off in the water. But then I add the transmitter, which communicates with my phone, and I have the app right here. So there's a Dexcom app on my phone. You'll see that it says 77. It's kind of hard to see with the glare, but you can also see there's a trending line. So we're right here at 77, which makes sense because I feel pretty normal. That's a good blood sugar. I'm very happy with that. And then you'll see the kind of postprandial spike that I had around 12 after lunch, about 190, and that's pretty normal. I can look back 6, 12, 24 hours. I get reports for 14, 30, 90 days. I get little encouragements on my phone. All of it's really fantastic. And my favorite part is it actually communicates with my watch. So my phone is great. So you can see there's the 77 on my watch. Fantastic when you're on grounds and you don't want to be looking at your phone. So that has really helped immensely. I can't stress that enough. And in addition, there's a couple other sensors. One of the things that people are really excited about are closed loop pumps. So if a sensor can communicate with the pump, it can tell the pump to slow down the insulin if you're going too low, hypoglycemic, or if you're going too high, it can increase the amount of insulin. Medtronic right now is the only one that has their own sensor that does that, but a lot of really smart people have kind of like hacked into old pumps and been able to do that. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm definitely considering it. And that is pretty much all I have for CGMs. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to just reach out to me. My email is zachary.s.jones@vanderbilt.edu. Or if when the pandemic is over, stop me in the hall. I'm always happy to talk about this stuff. But have a great day.